Yo,
What's up, man? What's up, man? How you
who
doing?
you talking to? You talking to your producers?
You know you gotta start telling everybody shut up.
Okay, this is
Yeah.
behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, we over here whooping kids and stuff. Oh man, how you doing? How you doing today, man?
Man, I'm all right, Doc. It's another day. A snowy day in Warren, Ohio, for
Right,
whatever craziness reason. Weather is schizophrenic up here, so
man. It's Ohio. It's Ohio.
right. Yes. How you doing, man?
Man, it's Mother's Day. I mean, it doesn't matter how we're doing, does it? Does
Never
it
has,
matter at all?
never has, never will. Not on
Never
this.
has, and it especially doesn't matter today because it's Mother's Day.
Hey.
And, we got to wish a happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers out there.
All y'all's. Happy
Now,
Mother's Day.
We want everybody to shout out your mothers. We want you to tag your mothers, shout out your mothers and the special ladies in your life. We want to give them a live shout out. We want you to tag. Don't just type their names if possible. If you can't tag them because they're not on Facebook, I understand. But tag your mother, your spouse. If you have a wonderful lady in your life who is a mother figure, because we want to celebrate them. But honestly, we just want more viewers. So tag. This is all a gimmick, but do it anyway. Tag all of your mothers. We want to give them a shout out, give love. Of course, happy Mother's Day to our wives, of course. Our baby mamas. We got to pretend like we really love them.
I'm going to perform for them all. Listen, y'all.
Uh-oh.
When I was me and my mama had beef, 17 years old, kicked out on the streets. Back in the days, I thought I'd never see your face. Ain't a woman alive that could take my mama's place. Suspended from school. Okay, I
She said, stop it. Oh, man. Well, you tried, Pastor Jeff.
Yeah, I was performing. I was putting my video on.
Man. You tried. That's one of the acceptable. That's one of the acceptable rapper references in the preacher pantheon, right next to y'all gonna make me lose my mind.
Up in here.
Yeah. Don't push me because I'm close to the edge. We're allowed to rap that one. What else are we allowed to rap?
Well, nowadays you can just rap anything and just put Jesus in it.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. See everybody.
Add anything. Add Jesus to anything is all good.
Add Jesus to anything.
I try to do it every week, so
that's basically his whole ministry. Oh man, so what's going on in the world, man? So don't forget, by the way, tag your mothers. We want to shout out your mothers. Tag your mothers in the comments. I'll be saying that all night. Tag your mothers in the comments so we can shout out your mothers, and you can expose your mothers to the foolishness you watch every Sunday night at 9 p.m. When they're calling you and you don't answer the phone, tell them I'm watching these two goofballs who pretend to be pastors every Sunday night. So what's going on in the world, Pastor Jeff?
Well, let's just start off by saying, first of all, Obama's dog died.
Okay, moving on.
And, some of these people think that, they really believe that these dogs are part of it. I'm about to get in trouble because I'm about to have Peter call. I'm just not,
Well, tell us about your dog death story. How about that? How about we start with that, Jeff? Since we know why you're not very sympathetic, so go ahead and tell us. And you tell us your dog death story, and I'll tell you mine.
Are you trying to get me arrested today?
Pretty much.
No, I will not tell that story again.
Well, I did see a full funeral with a casket with the dog in it.
Say it ain't so.
No, I wish I could find the picture right now. I saw it was like a pug, I think, or one of those. And he was laid out in the casket and everything, an actual casket with one of those big blankets. You know how they do the blanket with the loved one on it? And
He had he had the military come. They had
No,
the
no,
military.
he wasn't in the K9 unit. They did a 21 bark salute.
I mean, what do you think about these people? I mean, you know, they say they dog died or they cat died. Then you got R.I.P. I'm like, really?
Where are they resting in peace?
It's Pet Cemetery.
I had to describe to my kids what the farm upstate was. They didn't know what that was when I said that the dog's going to the farm upstate. That's an old saying. You know, we forget how old we are. That's an old.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, where did Shadow go? Oh, it went to the farm upstate. It went where it can run with all the other puppies and be free.
But that's one thing in the news. Next thing in the news this week was that you know, this goofy dude had the nerve to take Mayweather's hat.
Okay, let's talk about this. You know, this is less about, first of all, this man, I guess he's a real boxer now because he beat somebody. But is boxing just a gimmick now at this point? Because
Well, I think it has become a gimmick because first of all, I think Mayweather should stay retired. I just don't see what's the purpose of him
this is
coming back.
beneath him. This is like
Right.
this is
That's
like
what
boxers doing like WWE stuff, and matter of fact, I would rather he just do that than lower the sport itself.
Absolutely. And I mean, you know, I think it's because Mayweather don't need the money, but this other dude is going to get, I think, $20 million.
Hey.
I would take his hat too for $20 million.
Right, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Everything. Yeah. I mean, come on. I mean,
yeah, there's no limit. Then there's no limit to what we'll pay for, what companies will pay for. And, and then, I just want to see good heavyweight fights of people, really duking it out like they used to. Who is it? Tyson and who is it? Lennox Lewis is supposed to fight again.
Yeah, I would not.
But they're both like 92 years old.
I will not. I wouldn't. And Tyson smoking weed every day. That's
bring crazy. If you brought Crazy Mike back, I might think about it. If I was guaranteed at least one bite, then
he's
I might.
Too much weed. He's too relaxed now.
Oh yeah, that doesn't help. That doesn't help.
And here's the thing, and I'm just going to use this as a transitional statement. Can I use this as a transitional statement? That you have the reason these fights costing so much is because you have all these people tuning in. Right. You have 1 million people getting pay-per-view to watch this stuff, and that's why they can these people can get $20 million. But then on the other hand, you have 8% of the people voting in war.
Listen, what are like 19 people voting Youngstown for mayor? It was like Tito got 6 votes. The white guy got like 7 votes, and Julius got like 2. I mean, it was not that. This is sad. You're right. You're absolutely right, Jeff. The things, the things that we're valuing in our culture, and I'm not trying to be on a soapbox or nothing, but I mean, come on, man. I mean, these are consequential situations in our local elections and all, and voting is down all over the place, and it's ridiculous. Now I will say I was going to put up I was going to write a letter to the editor. This was not a part of the plan to talk about, but I'm just going to take up some time with this. I was going to write a letter to the editor, Jeff, because there were 2 editorials in the Tribune Chronicle, which is our local paper for those of you that don't live around here. And there were 2 editorials. The first editorial was basically complaining about how nobody's voting. The second editorial was, believe it or not, why are all these independents allowed to jump into the race at the last minute? And these people who won in the primaries now have to face independents. And yes, they referenced the ward because yes, I am running, and I'm allowed to say it on the show. I'm running for first ward in Warren. And my point was, I was going to actually wrote it out on my iPad, but I decided not to send it, is obviously people are not interested in the choices that they have. And instead of discouraging and saying that we should all go through this fake 2-party system that we all know doesn't really work, in this primary system where basically, look at Youngstown's mayor, look at Warren. They're deciding the general elections in the primary. Who's interested in that? Who's interested in people where they already feel it's a foregone conclusion? And so I feel like they need to bust up the election system, and more people need to run who have different ideas and aren't necessarily running on this toxic party division, which is just a bunch of division and just beat the other side. Red beat blue, blue beat red, blue no matter who, all this other stuff, and actually make folks talk about their ideas independently as opposed to, because people are sick of it. Look at our area. It's all Democrat. We already know what it's going to be. They're already lining people up for who's going to be next. So why not allow more independence and people with fresh, and I'm not saying their ideas are any better, but let the people choose. You know,
hey, I listened to some of these debates that.
Oh, it was a joke, boy.
It was. I mean, I'm gonna do a Pastor Merle and say no names and bear no blame.
Bear no blame, but we already know the name, so we'll just put the blame where you want to.
My God, I mean, if you can't tell me, what you gonna do with the $1 billion they giving y'all,
$88 million, man. 29 million in Warren. Yeah. So and I thought they kept, I never even remember them having as many debates. I felt like everybody wanted to get in on the clown show, to be honest.
Yeah.
I really did. I feel like everybody wanted to get in on it on the show because it was so entertaining. I mean, dude did not know what he was talking about, period. Let's just be honest.
At all.
And still came in second place. Just amazing. And speaking of elections, since we're on a tangent here, we'll get to y'all mamas in a minute. Shout your mamas out. Okay, Jewel Terry is the first mama we're shouting out. Happy Mother's Day to you. Jewel Terry, Religiously Incorrect, the most inconsequential podcast on the planet, is wishing you Happy Mother's Day.
We are sending you virtual flowers right now.
Yeah, we're sending you virtual love right now. We're sending you a virtual shirt. We're sending you a virtual sweater. Tag and type in the names of your mothers. We're gonna shout your mother's names out and wish you Happy Mother's Day. So even in California, Caitlyn Jenner's running for governor.
Oh my God!
And she's a transgender who's against transgenders. she's transgender and against transgenders, but it's becoming Trumpy because everything she says they're starting to report on, which means they're gonna boost her profile. Just like they did Donald Trump.
Absolutely.
Even though she is obviously terribly unqualified to be anybody's governor. It's just insane.
Well, I mean, I don't think even qualifications don't matter. We voted in a known thief, a known. This wasn't something
a known sex offender.
This wasn't something that was under the radar. Didn't nobody know. This dude. Literally con people out of,
oh yeah, contracts, unpaid workers,
college, and over half of America voted for it,
and still love them, and still love them.
They're about to name Mosquito. They're about to change. First of all,
Mosquito Lake. Well, to me it's a wash because Mosquito is a bloodsucker, and to me it's like just having a. AKA a pseudonym.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't going to Mosquito Lake before, and I ain't going.
Yeah. Hey, we all know it's not for us anyway.
Absolutely.
So it's par for the course. But yeah, I mean, it's just so much to be said about our priorities and what has people's attention. And Religiously Incorrect encourages people to vote wisely, and to watch your candidates and whoever you. Now it is goofy in Youngstown because there are like 19. It's like one of those joke elections where a person in a costume's running, and there was one guy that was like 95. No disrespect if you're related to him, but there was like a 90-some-year-old guy running for mayor. Come on, man. Come on.
Well, right now I just want to say big ups to our own Pastor Todd Johnson. Running, if
first ward council
in that ward, go ahead and get your vote on. If you know somebody in that ward, get your vote on. Let's put somebody in there who's gonna do something. You got those little things going in front of your house.
What, the signs?
Yeah, the signs.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some signs made, man. But I gotta find all the old ones that I still ain't collected.
I got three of them in my garage. I was putting them in Dairy Queen.
Man, I have pulled them out of people's yards like as late as like 2 years ago.
I had them at red and white everywhere.
Oh man, yeah. I just gave up on collecting them. I was like, man, they gonna cut the grass one day and just throw them away. So
hey, can I be your running mate? Can I be like on Chris Rock with Bernie Mac was running mate? He's going around slapping people.
I want a vice councilman. I want to be the first councilman to have a vice councilman. that beats up people. Hey, but I will tell you, you ran a bad election, which it wasn't really bad. I have over 5,000 write-in votes in less than 2 months. But you run a bad election when your children remind you, and this is 4 years ago. This is 4 years ago, when your children remind you that your first batch of signs were misspelled. My kids were like, "Hey, Dad, remember when your first batch of signs misspelled Trumbull?" And they were in the car in the backseat like, "Trumbull." Trumbull. I'm like, why is my 7-year-old ragging on me?
That is too funny.
Yeah.
Black boys read. That's why, because black
boys read. That's exactly why. Hey, let me knock out a couple of these ads for today, and then we're gonna get into Dear Mama. Hey, if you're watching today, thank you for joining us. Like, share, comment, and comment the name of your mama. We want to celebrate all moms today. We're gonna knock out our ads, starting with Phillips Care Lawn Care. They do services and have been in business for over 10 years, serving the Trumbull and Mahoning County and surrounding areas. My main man, Fernando Phillips, manages Phillips Care LLC lawn care services. They do all types of spring, fall cleanup. They might have to bring the plows back out for the next week. Mowing, trimming, edging, everything your lawn care needs. Hit up Phillips Care Lawn Care Service at 330-219-7916 or look them up on Facebook at Phillips Care LLC. Tell them Pastor Todd sent you. And while you're doing that, if you need any other work done, check out Phillips Care Cleaning Service. Residential and commercial floor cleaning, basic cleaning, deep cleaning, carpet upholstery, wood floor cleaning, moving in, moving out. $35 per room on carpet, basic steam clean. They will do whatever you need to do around the house. Again, serving Trumbull, Mahoning, and surrounding areas. Don't waste your time. Let us do it, they say. They take care of the mess that causes you stress. Once again, check out Phillips Care by calling 330-219-7916 or looking up Phillips Care LLC on Facebook. We are grateful to have the Phillips Care family of businesses as our proud sponsors of Religiously Incorrect podcast. So we've already shut down the wrap.
Wait a minute. Let me just say this because I might need Fernando. My wife just gave me this crazy look because we just got new carpet.
Oh yeah. You need to do better than that.
It'll be all right. We got Fernando. He'll hook it up.
So the subject is Dear Mama, and we want to hear from you. That's why we wanted you to like, share, tag, and invite people to join us. Pastor Tatum, hope you are well. Happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers out there and mother figures, mamas. So there's a couple things we could talk about with Mother's Day. Number one, let's just talk about the obvious. Mother's Day is always far more well celebrated than Father's Day. Mother's Day is the premium package of holidays, and Father's Day is the budget. Father's Day is the Section 8 of holidays.
Somebody said I think it's number 18 on the holiday list.
It's number 18 on the holiday list.
And like he said, I don't even know 17 other holidays.
Right. Hey, we're behind like Ramadan,
Halloween. We are actually behind Halloween.
Father's Day is behind Halloween.
Ghosts and goblins are more important than we are.
Hey, they get better gifts than fathers do. Hey, that's because most of them daddies be going ghost. Hey, the fathers celebrate on Halloween because they already ghosts. Hey, so Mother's Day has literally become wait 3 hours to go to her table at Olive Garden, eat the same crap you could have had last week. The same flowers you could have got, just like Valentine's Day, 2 weeks before for $19.99. They now cost $79, $80. Right? Happy Mother's Day, Rosalind Hill. Hey. Happy Mother's Day to Jeff's mother-in-law. I might as well say mine. Happy Mother's Day to Shamika and Linda Johnson and missionary Christine Simpson and the late, great Amy Jean Carson. Happy Mother's Day to all of you. 3 hours, even if you're trying to pick up. Thank you, President Harrison. Even if you're trying to pick up, you can't even get in there. Mother's Day, then of course there's the cards. Now, I was looking at the card section, Pastor Jeff, and it was like for mom, for grandma, for auntie, for side chick, for
That's a sad chick.
for the mom, for the mom who's now a dad and wants to be a mom again. It's so confusing, man. It's a lot.
Somebody said yesterday, I heard somebody said, and dads can be moms too. And I said, how?
How?
I mean, that is not.
You got to go see the right doctor, man.
It's not physically impossible. I mean,
just ask Caitlin.
The vice versa. I've heard people say, well, moms had to be dads. I mean, moms had to be the mom and the dad growing up.
I don't believe in any of that.
I've never heard the dad had to be. I mean, I guess.
We know of one. We actually know of one that didn't turn out too well. We know of one dad that tried to be a mom. It didn't turn out too well. That's an inside joke with me and Pastor Jeff.
Right.
Hope you're not watching. Okay. What about church traditions, Pastor Jeff? So this week, today, I actually, it was so funny. I said, I'm actually proud that this is the first time in probably 14 months that we have done some sort of like special presentation in church. Because all of our church services have been, very, even coming back to recordings, very structured, not a lot of, you remember announcements? Remember when people used to come up and just talk and read off a list and pass out cards and envelopes and
I miss it.
Walk around the church to get the bags to people. And there's always one person that can't walk and you got to take it to, all of those things. So we did that. And, the sister, sweetheart of our missions president said, I'm not going to do the oldest mother and the youngest mother and the mother with the most kids anymore. And I thought to myself, thank you, Jesus.
Thank God.
Because can we even do these things anymore without having controversy?
Well, it's not even having controversy because the oldest mother stays the oldest mother for,
until she dies. I mean,
I'm like, she gonna get the gift.
Yeah. If she was the oldest mother last year, she's still alive. She's still the oldest mother. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, you might get somebody younger in to be the youngest mother, but
okay, but wait a minute. Let's back up on that. So, I mean, what if the youngest mother is a teenager in an unfortunate situation?
That's what I was about to say. I said you might get a younger mother, but then you're also celebrating something that may not be. I ain't gonna say it's not because we understand. I don't want to be.
Oh, you're about to go there. You're about to lose all your viewers. I'm about to watch all the viewers just go down to 2. It's gonna be me, you, and Jameson.
We know that the child is a gift from the Lord.
And back in the day, they used to say youngest married mother.
Yeah, we stopped that.
We can't say that anymore.
We just stopped that.
We can't.
The oldest mother ain't married.
You're right. You could be very yeah. You can't count on it. Yeah. So, mothers with the most kids. I mean, I don't know. I don't think it means the same anymore. And I'm not saying that callously. President Harrison said people get married in a village somewhere. Somewhere they still get married.
Oh my gosh.
But I mean, the most kids, for instance, that it might do we have to verify if you have custody of all of them? Do we have to?
Ooh. Some of them bring all their kids with them up to get their gift. I like to thank Ray J, John, Boo Boo,
John 1, John 2, John 3. Yeah. Yeah, it's changed, and you get your tokens, your gifts, comment if you're watching. What are some of the things that your church has done for mothers? You know what? I want to shout out my good friends at Northmar Church. They do the annual oil changes for mothers.
Oh, okay.
They do oil changes at Northmar Church in Warren for mothers, and I want to shout them out. And then I want to put a wig on and go get a free oil change.
Let me say this. I want to thank them too, because that would probably be the only oil change my wife ever gets. Once a year. She ain't looking at no gauges.
Now, George would say, that's your job. You the man. You're supposed to get up in the morning to open the door for her when you ain't going to work.
I'd be like, man, how long this light been on? Oh no, I ain't looking at that.
I don't know. Yeah, so shout out to North Mar Church. We do the flowers and the gift bags for special mothers. Of course, they make sure Shamika's blessed as the first lady of the church. We always try to bless the oldest couple of sisters in our church. Many of them are homebound, of course. And then you have tokens, and it's run the gamut. I think this year they did a nice little gift package of a mug or a cup with some candy in it. But, we kind of overshot it because people still aren't coming to church the same way. So, how do you show that love? So if you're watching and you'd like to comment and tell us, how do you celebrate mothers at your church? We'd love to hear your feedback. Again, tag and acknowledge the names of your mothers. We want to shout out your mothers publicly as well. We're going to be saying Happy Mother's Day to people all night.
And once again, we are looking for viewers, and we want you to tag and come. But we're also looking for ideas so we can do something different next year.
Yeah. Happy Mother's Day to Mother Mary Marsh.
Yeah, Mother's Day. Yes, Mary Morgan. Mother Mary Morgan is on. Amen. Happy Mother's Day, Sister Morgan.
If you do have a mother with too many kids, should the church pass out bags of birth control or something like that, or condoms? Like this is just a token of love.
Let me tell you, you can have safe sex, but you can't do safe sin. So
that is true. That is true. That's very true. So what are some of the things you all have done for mothers over the years, Pastor Jeff? We used to do the breakfast for mothers, all that.
Well, we definitely have done the breakfast. The men have cooked breakfast, and I get it right in the kitchen. You know what I mean? I can throw down, especially on some breakfast. You know what I mean? This year we done the cups with the candy and the pens and the hand sanitizers and all of that stuff.
Hand sanitizers everywhere now. Hand sanitizer is officially a gift now. When you join the church, you get hands. You used to get a Bible. You used to get a Bible when you join the church. Now you get hand sanitizer. Hey, the funeral homes are gonna stop sending fans. They're gonna send hand sanitizer with Martin Luther King's face on it.
That is with Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King's face on it.
That's on the hand sanitizer.
Absolutely.
Create me a clean heart.
Those are all great, gestures. Pastor Tatum brings up a great point. We tend not to be sensitive to the women in our churches who cannot have children or do not have children. So while we honor mothers, we have to keep those women in mind. So I'm going to ask Pastor Tatum to give us an idea. Maybe, Jeff, if you want to add to this, how do we do that? What exactly does that consist of? Because I had a contrary point, and we mentioned this in pre-show, so I'm going to bring this up. Contrary, not to Pastor Tatum, but a contrary point to holidays in general. How do you acknowledge? Let's start with like barren, or individual. I hate that's the biblical word for it, but somebody that has struggled, has not had children, or just does not have them, maybe by choice.
I think I know 1 year. One year, especially at the last ministry I was at, we said, we want to give honor to those who may not be actual parents, but you're raising somebody, and you know what I mean. You are the motherly figure in the house, and sometimes it's like that. Where you may be the aunt that's really raising a child. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so you are still a motherly figure or fatherly figure in that aspect. So I mean, I think you have to do that, but I think we need to be very cautious and careful because, and to your point, a lot of us have lost our mothers and have lost our parents. For me, this is probably the first year where, usually I make this post or 1 year, I think I've done a whole week where I honored my mother and, I put up 1 million pictures of my mother. And this year I just kind of said, you know what, I don't want, because it brings up so many emotions.
Yeah.
So many raw realities. And, my mother has been gone 16, 17 years, you know what I mean? But it doesn't hurt doesn't make the hurt or pain go away. And by me not putting up these posts doesn't mean I don't love her, just, as much as, somebody else who put up 1 million, I just didn't want to deal with the emotions of it all. You know what I mean? And
Right.
so it's hard. I know my son-in-law, whom I love dearly, who literally, walked in our house, had to bust the door open in on his house, and found his mother deceased. It's very hard for him to celebrate this day. So we have those who have gone through situations like that, especially with COVID over the last year, who many people have probably lost their mothers. It doesn't take away from the celebration of Mother's Day, because I think they still ought to be celebrated. But it's difficult for many of us.
That brings up a question, and this is not just a Mother's Day thing. It has permeated discussions of our attempts to offer more sensitivity and awareness that everyone is not always in the mainstream flow of whatever the designated holiday or celebration is. And it's become, and to Pastor Tatum's point, well, because there are some who don't fit in that category, you almost wipe away the category.
Right.
Or, and I think it's a good thing to be aware. I mean, come on, every Thanksgiving, remember the people that don't have something to eat. Christmas. I mean, I've watched posts like, don't post up all your gifts because it might hurt people's feelings. There's some kid out there or some parent that couldn't buy gifts. And at what point do you feel like you're more or less being lectured and pressured to not so much acknowledge because you want to and have a heart to, and nobody will ever acknowledge something enough. But at what point do we feel like we're almost being lectured? And when I say lectured, I don't mean what we're having a conversation right now. Pastor Tatum is a regular contributor, but I mean, sometimes it could just be Happy Mother's Day on Facebook and somebody commenting, but don't forget those of us who aren't. And it's like, you should remember them too. And why don't you? And after a while, it's kind of like, all right, like, maybe I am praying for them, but if I didn't actively say it, or can these people who fit in this category just have their day?
Right. That's what
and I'm not, can they just have their day? I mean, you know how we do Father's Day. I mean, half of Father's Day is us getting some, a tie, and then watching people rant and rave about fathers who weren't there.
Right.
Basically.
Right.
So, I mean, what do you think about our obligation? I mean, I have a problem with the constant lecturing, and I'm just saying in random Facebook posts, or like almost like sideways clapbacks at just a general celebration. This is what we're talking about, but don't forget about blah, blah, blah.
I think the obligation, like you said, is to celebrate the day without bringing your skepticism in it. Allow those to enjoy the day. I mean, you don't say, Merry Christmas to everybody but the Jehovah's Witnesses. It's because they're not celebrating. They don't celebrate it. You know what I mean?
Y'all.
It's I, like I said, when I turn on. Obviously, I give my wife a Happy Mother's Day, shout out. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna, tell everybody don't celebrate your mothers because I feel bad because my mom ain't here. You know what I mean? That's one of the reasons I didn't want to post, because it just brings a cloud over everybody else's joy to me. I don't want to make anybody else feel bad because my mother ain't here. Y'all got y'all, and now even a post to say, those who say, if you got your mother, you ought to celebrate them. No, I ain't doing all that. I'm not doing all that. God bless you. You got it, and enjoy. I do want you to enjoy it, because one day it will be gone. But I'm not throwing that in your face. I want you to enjoy the holiday and have it.
I talked to my wife. Of course, we lost her mother a couple years ago, and we talked about, we obviously, I said, she was saying, well, yeah, you should think about it. Yes, you should. I said, yeah, but we weren't. We were just going with the flow because all of our mothers were alive until one wasn't.
Right.
And you often don't become sensitive to something until you're in the situation. But just like anything else, there's the reality that it at least for the vast majority of people, and I don't want to say, that's a terrible way to say it, so excuse my language, but life really is going on for everybody else who continues to want to celebrate. And as Pastor Harrison just said, People are angry over a lack of identity, or I guess you could say acknowledgement. And we live in an era where we are acknowledging a lot more. We're not just acknowledging the traditional, okay, Mother's Day, Father's Day. Of course, it used to be, married couples only mattered. Now it's, of course, single parents, just different holidays and different acknowledge. So maybe we should make sure we set aside separate days and times to make sure that, because I've seen, maybe there is a time of ministry, but it may never be on par with the monster that is Mother's Day. And I think people make a mistake trying to make that competition, because that's where I get it with Jeff. Because and I want to put Pastor Tatum's quote up in a minute. That's where I get it. It's like, and she makes incredible points that we all should be aware of. But there are some out there, and she is not one of them, who expect what they want to be acknowledged to be as broad and as popular as a mainstream thing that is just not going to be there. It's just, you can't make the masses suddenly care. And then honestly, some of these difficult things are awkward to even address anyway, and people just shy away because it's like, I don't know what to say. It's like death. I don't know what to say.
Right.
Some things like losing a child, at childbirth or different. There was a hard for this to general public to even speak to. Besides, I'm praying for you and I'm standing with you. So let's put up Tatum's, because I love her. I love her comments, and she's given us great perspective. Yes, I agree they should have their day. However, from the church's standpoint, we should make sure we are ministering to those individuals at some point during the year. And you know what? To add to that, Jeff, and I want you to chime in too, we have to remember that people talk about sensitivity and we're all sensitive and all this, stuff. But the whole world has become that way. We were quite the callous culture. Fathers didn't even show up to the birth back in the day. They would just call you at work and be like, it's a boy. And if you lost children, unless that mother had a breakdown or something, it was just 60, 70 years ago, you just lost a child and it just was what it was. And you went on, try to have another child or whatever you're going to do. And we didn't hear about it as much, rainbow babies. We didn't hear as much terminology. Right. And so it's a good thing, but we're still catching up. And there's also a shift in culture. And so I love how she said there should be ministry. And, it's personal because everyone doesn't want to talk about it. Some people would rather you not know. And then some people really want to make it known because they feel there are others like them who could benefit. So it's a delicate balance.
Absolutely.
You want to ask, you know what I mean? Heck on us, we asking people to stand up. Okay, everybody that can't,
It's difficult because I don't know how much I want to talk about it. I don't know, how much I want to. I think honestly, Facebook has done a phenomenal job in adding every day that you can add. Some siblings day. It's a million things on Facebook, and I don't know how. It's national. National Pet Your Dog Day.
Yeah,
they got National Everything Day on Facebook, and I think they've done a good job. Ministering to all these different.
So Facebook is doing the ministry we're not doing.
Absolutely, they are.
But it has allowed people who didn't know that there are more people out there in their situation.
Absolutely.
To connect, find support, meet, like we all have in different areas of life. And I agree, the church often, and let's be clear, remember, when we talk about religiously incorrect, the vast majority of churches are not resourced to be so broad.
Yeah.
They're just not. The vast majority of churches, and if somebody like a Pastor Tatum or somebody who knows the story, understands, and has the wherewithal to bring it up or to take on the challenge, whether it's the pastor themselves or someone in the church, it will get overlooked, but not because there is a lack of care or concern, because you're only concerned about what you really know of and what's brought to your attention. And we all know churches are constricted in how much they can pay attention to so many issues that we deal with in life. And again, issues that were traditionally kept private. They really were traditionally overlooked. And unfortunately, the church is a very traditional place and has not fully caught up. And then, Mike says it's too much. A lot of pastors, let's be honest, they feel it's too much because it's hard to care about everything. And I know it sounds so callous, but it's hard to keep up with every.
Hey, I brought it up at what did I preach at your church? Your anniversary, or it was one of the things I brought up. And I said, he cannot be at every bar mitzvah. He cannot be at every every birthday party. He can't be at every graduation. We look at pastors as, and if I don't show up, now I'm the villain.
Or if you don't speak to something.
Yeah, or where a lot of it I didn't even know was going on. And even if I do know, let's just be honest, I have a family of my own too.
Right.
And time is pressing. There are a million different issues, and that's why I think it's so important to have a ministry team and even when you do have a ministry team, let's just be honest, a lot of these members don't want minister such and such prayers as if it's different.
Right. And
go ahead.
To your point, it's not just about where we can be, but what resource. Let's just say someone came up, and this happens often, quite frankly, in churches in general, and we'll get back because I want to talk about Facebook and Mother's Day as well. Let's just say, and just a cheap example, let's say, a family has an autistic child. Maybe they would say, I have not heard the pastor address autism and how we should care for families with autism. And it's kind of like, it's not that we don't care. It's just maybe we didn't think that it would not even deserved. It wasn't even on the radar of a sermon or even a ministry, or, again, maybe there are more people, but we wouldn't know it because we don't know how to broach it. Do we, and that's a delicate, of course, we're going to say, well, just get up. And we do live in a world where we just get up and say, do you have this situation? Would you like to start a support group? But that's fairly new. Well, would you like to start a ministry to minister? Or should we dedicate a day? Or should we do a memorial? Or should we acknowledge this? That's fairly new of us just simply saying, parents of people who have addictions, we're going to do a ministry. Women who have been unable or have, lost children or, in childbirth, that kind of a situation, we would like to. Sometimes it's more or less an event that exists within the congregation, but not something that actually gets focused attention or a ministry or anything formal. And
that's how long standing would this ministry be? You know what I mean? How and that's, I think that's a real
we may have, a good question.
Because we start these ministries, and first of all, is it biblically church? Second of all, after you all cry in each other's arms, what more can we do? You know what I mean? It's how long standing can these ministries be?
I have another question to that. And again, I'm loving the open, because it can be blunt and it can sound, and I know, Pastor Osborne is up for this kind of conversation because she's used to this. So the rest of you all just bear with us, because we're just having a blunt, what they call a stream of consciousness conversation. How much of what we desire to be programmed is just congregational relationship and ministry that by building relationship, somebody in that congregation might be a support to you personally. But it's never in the bulletin, and there's never a day, and there's never some formal organized pastoral approved thing, and are we too expectant of, the church to create a program or an acknowledgement or a day or a ministry or anything of that nature? A balloon release, it could be anything. A balloon release, 1 minute you're doing it for mothers of violent victims of violence, or next day it's domestic abuse. The next day it's, addiction support. The next day it's, veterans, whatever. How much of that should just be within the life of the church as opposed to a program of a church? And again, I forget what the issue was. It was it was cancer. It was cancer. We have a cancer garden at Second Baptist. And one of the issues that was brought up was that when they acknowledged people who had, struggled, battled, some, of course, had passed away, and we were memorializing them, there were people who did not want to be mentioned. So now we think that now that we're acknowledging it, everybody wants to get on board and either be a part of the memorial or the celebration of defeating it or surviving or whatever. And there are people that now they're shrinking in their seats, or they'll miss out. They'll stay home that Sunday because they'd rather it not just be mentioned at all.
Right.
They don't want people, and they're afraid somebody who does know might give me their name or say something, just whatever their personal shame is, and it's not supposed to be a shame, but that's the way we think. We can't tell that person how to think. So to that point, I want to shift gears to Mother's Day and Facebook. I'm funny because I went to see my mom today, and she was, definitely past church time and just in her personal relaxation. And we went to take a picture. Like, I ain't no pictures today. You better find an old picture, which I did. And I joked on my way out the house and said, yeah, because if it's not on Facebook, it didn't happen. And I'll be honest, when I get off of here, I'm probably going to make sure I acknowledge my grandmothers I haven't mentioned yet and things like that, because the offense of leaving somebody out when they find out that you acknowledge this but not that, that, how has we see Facebook has helped us acknowledge, but has it hurt us a little bit in the expectations?
I think it has. It's very, it's very difficult because, I mean, especially when you start making these posts, especially because, you got, I got 300 sisters. You know what I mean? I want to, I'm serious. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure I say happy, Mother's Day to all of them. Then, and you got your aunts and you got your, it's like, okay. And I started to post today. I want to say happy Mother's Day to all the Stanfords, Burrows, Davises. Just a
trying to cover all my bases.
You want to cover all your bases because people do get offended. It's a reality, and I don't think it's necessary. Listen, I got one mother. I got one mother. That's who I need to say happy Mother's Day to.
Okay. So who do you post Mother's Day to first? If you're a husband, your wife or your mother?
My mother ain't here, so it's my wife's.
So it's your wife. Okay. If both are living, who do you post first, your wife or your mother? That's the old who gets a plate first, or who do you hug first? Did you see the one about who do you hug first when you get out of jail?
What?
Did you see that one? Guy gets out of jail. And it's like, no, it's like mother, wife, or girlfriend and daughter. And it's like, who do you hug first? They all have their arms out. I'm like, what?
Everybody at the same time.
I'm hugging my parole officer. So who gets the Mother's Day? Who gets the Mother's Day shout out first? The wife that bore your children or the mother that bore you?
It is Mother's Day. You give your mother.
Your wife's the mother.
Yeah, yes, she is, but it's Mother's Day. You only have one mama, period, point blank.
And I only have one wife I got to get in bed with at the end of the night. Tiffany says your mama. Mike says whoever you see first.
Y'all trying to get.
Pastor Tatum says the wife you live with and sleep next to. That's what I'm talking about.
I don't know.
Especially if I'm feeling frisky, she getting all the shout outs.
Hey. So what do you think? And I got to throw this in the conversation because it's something that I see so often. I just want to bring it up. And I know a lot of people do it, and I don't have a problem with it, but sometimes it's just something. What do you feel about RIH? Happy heavenly birthday.
Okay.
What do you feel about?
Well, let's start with mothers. Let's start with the mothers thing. I think the heavenly Mother's Day acknowledgement makes more sense than the heavenly birthday. And I say that because birthdays end when your life ends.
No, Moses is 4,000.
Happy heavenly birthday. Happy heavenly birthday to Abraham Lincoln.
Hey, Moses got a burning bush on his cake up in heaven.
Okay. It's cool as long as they don't get into this. He would have been 123 years old. No, he would have been dead 30 years ago. He would not have been 123 today. Yeah, I mean, as long as they don't go too far with it. Acknowledge them on their day. I mean, in the first few, okay, we went through this. We got the cake the first year. I don't see us doing that every year going forward. And honestly, that person, it's gonna slide. Yeah. It's gonna slide. Because remember, we are in an era where it's become popular, where we have a platform. Nobody was running around saying that before social media. Who are you saying it to?
Right.
Just your few family members that might be with you. And yes, the people have done celebrations and memorials for individuals, but that is another social media, based, it went way up in the sky because of social media. And happy heavenly birthday again, acknowledging you on your birthday, talking as if you're still having birthdays. You would have been 50 today, you would have been 70 after a while. And that's going to fade too. That person's not going to make that post every single year.
Yeah.
This platform won't be around for forever.
Right. All right, let's switch gears one more time. Your all-time favorite TV mom.
Oh man.
Come on.
This is a rapid fire. You done took Mike's job. All-time favorite. Okay, well, first of all, let me say this. I want you all to participate in the in this question. Who is your all-time favorite TV mom? Okay, I'm gonna judge it like this. I'm gonna judge my all-time favorite TV mom not by whose child I'd want to be, but whose husband I would want to be.
That's so okay. I hear you.
So I'm trying to think of somebody who is actually, because most of these TV moms, they purposely make them like middle-aged on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
The one from Everybody Hates Chris, she was fine.
Oh, Pam. No, her name ain't Pam, but we all know her from Tashina Arnold. Yes.
Because she was one of the few younger, mothers. The other ones are always like, the Huxtables, now she was like 80s fine, but I was a kid then, so that wasn't, So we got a Claire Huxtable, favorite TV mom.
Mm-hmm.
Tatum says Claire Huxtable. I don't know. She put up with a lot of mess from Cliff. Now that we know all of Cliff's dirt now. now we know why Cliff was what was he, a gynecologist? Nothing about that show makes sense anymore. Everything about that show makes Bill Cosby look bad now. Everything.
Oh my God! Now, I did like the mother from Moesha. Even though even though she was a stepmom, I think she done a phenomenal job. Stepping in as in you do gotta celebrate a lot of these stepmoms who had to step in and
yeah.
It's difficult.
Okay.
It's difficult.
Rosalind Hill says Miss Kobe. Who is Miss Kobe?
Miss Kobe.
What show is that? Happy Days or something? Or
that might be before our time.
Is that before our time? What is that? The Little Rascals?
The Little Rascals. Miss Kobe.
Who is Miss Kobe, Rosalind? Oh, she's Miss Cosby.
Oh, Miss Cosby. Okay.
And she definitely put Miz on there, so she dropped Bill. She dropped Cliff. We got Louise Jefferson, Jameson, Louise Wheezy. Wheezy?
Hey, the mother from Good Time. What was her name?
Oh, Florida.
Yes.
Dang, dang, dang. Florida Evans. Oh man, I didn't like Harriet from Family Matters. She was aggravating to me.
Extremely
aggravating.
She should. I don't know. And then you got both of the mothers from the Will Smith show. Which one you like?
Okay, yeah. Okay, Tatum just asked. Put that one up, Mike. Mom 1 and Mom 2. So dark Mrs. Banks or light skinned Mrs. Banks.
Yeah, everybody loved the dark Mrs. Banks. We all hated when she switched.
Yeah, we did. I mean, she has soul. She was like, she could have played Harriet Tubman in the movie. She was teaching African dance classes. Okay, I got to answer your mother-in-law because it's Mother's Day. You can't see anybody else's comments, Rosalind, because you're the only one watching on YouTube. You're in a room by yourself. Everybody else is commenting on Facebook. So okay. So Aunt Viv, dark Aunt Viv, or light bright Aunt Viv?
Definitely dark.
Put your votes in. I think dark skin Aunt Viv, was just who we started with, and so she gets the preference. But all the rumors about her being difficult and stuff, I think that really trashed her reputation, fairly or not, probably unfairly, because we know how we do women, especially black women.
Absolutely.
Light skin Aunt Viv, she tried her best, but she was more like a place filler. She was more like a space filler. So Miss Cosby, Weezy Jefferson, are those really the only black moms or TV moms we know that?
You got Florida. You got. I mean, but a lot of them were just bad. You got the mom from what was Jasmine Guy's mother in what was the name of that show? Different World. She was the worst mother ever.
Yeah, she's the worst mother. Yeah. She would have sold her daughter on the street. She would have sold. Yeah. So I mean, that is the image. I mean, and what does the new black mother look like on TV? Where are the new black mother figures? Okay, Charlene Dela Cruz said Julia, the old one. Again, Lady Charlene, you're gonna have to tell us. Listen, the mom on 227.
Oh yes. That was the same lady from
Marla Gibbs.
Marla Gibbs, yes.
Marla Gibbs. My grandmother loved Marla Gibbs. She thought she was Marla Gibbs. She thought she looked like Marla Gibbs. She got her hair cut like her, and we had to watch 227 every 227 and Amen. 227 and Amen. Now, never mind. Let me stop because I already said the one crush I had. I don't want my wife to watch this anymore. So
you also had the mother from Sister, who she was on 2272 Sandra.
Yep. Jackie. She was like, I mean, come on, man. She was like, yeah, I'm not gonna call her any names, but it was just hilarious how she became a mother after all that. Yeah, she portrayed on 227. She said Rainbow on Blackish. I've never seen. Is Rainbow the Tracy Ellis Ross?
Yes.
That's
I don't know if that's the name. I don't know if that's, but I know the mother on it is
Tracy Ellis Ross.
Yes, she's a phenomenal mother in that show.
Yeah,
and I think that show went really deep with her having postpartum and all those different things. A lot of different things the black women go through and have been through.
I'm glad her name is Rainbow though, for real. To be honest, Rainbow. Was she like a flower child or something? One of these I have no idea. One of these hippie children or something. Okay, Charlene Dela Cruz has given us a history lesson. The first black women in the 70s, Diane Carroll, who was fine by the way, played Julia, a mom and nurse of one child. Gotcha. Now you're gonna have me looking this up on YouTube tonight.
Right.
You have to look this up on YouTube tonight. Now you know what? Okay, we got one more, Jeff. One more before, because Mike unfortunately is having technical difficulties because I think he's on Boost Mobile or Ghetto Mobile, as K1 would say. Here's the other thing about some of these Mother's Day pictures. You kind of find out that some of these older mothers were pretty fine back in the day.
Oh my God! You
ever see some of the? I mean, I don't mean to be disrespectful. I mean, they were beautiful women. I mean, all you know is this older person you met in church or in the neighborhood, and you forgot they were a beautiful young woman out kicking it, doing a thing before they became Big Mama. Big Mama wasn't always Big Mama.
At all.
She wasn't always making fried cornbread and greens, and
they wasn't always praying. They wasn't always praying either.
Wasn't always praying. So that's a lovely thing, because they really are beautiful, wonderful, seeing people in their vibrancy, seeing people have changed over the years. Yeah. So, okay, she was raised on a commune. Okay. See, I don't know how many black people have that. I thought this was about black people. What black people, raised on a commune? Was it a Black Panther commune or just what?
I don't know.
I don't watch these new shows.
She probably was that one lady with the with no more wired hangers.
Right. She was Sexy Thing. That must be Diane Carroll. Yeah, so I mean, there are a lot of images of mothers, black mothers. I do think we need to bring more of the image of the strong black family back to TV and movies. Okay, she's mixed. Okay, Tiffany, we're tired of talking about this show. I don't want any more. I don't want any more facts. Tiffany's gonna do her own podcast about Blackish. I'm not asking questions because I want answers anymore. I'm asking just to talk. So absolutely. I don't want it. Okay, ladies that are watching, let's finish up with this. Oh man, this is gonna get into okay. Best Mother's Day gift you ever got? Yeah, I did ask Tiffany. I know. Best Mother's Day gift, ladies, you ever got, or worst Mother's Day gift? Do we really want to do worst?
Don't say who it's from. Don't get yourself in trouble.
Right. Well, who else is going to be from except the person that?
Well, I mean, best Mother's Day gift. Come on, y'all. Talk to us. Best Mother's Day. Tiffany, you better go ahead and jump on because I just spent $1 million on you today. So you might as well go ahead.
I got my wife an IOU for Mother's Day.
Matter of fact, here go one of Tiffany's gifts right here.
There it is.
Right here.
Jeff, you're a good man, Jeff.
That's just one of them. So
if you didn't already have a baby coming, you'd be making one over that purse.
Oh, praise God.
My mom said all of her gifts she ever got. All of her gifts she ever got. That's from Jameson. That's beautiful. Okay. I'm glad. Amen. Tiffany said all my gifts are great. No, Tiffany, be specific and show us price tags. Here's the worst gift. Here's the worst gift you could ever give. All you fellas out there watching this, here's the worst gift you could ever give, especially your wife or your girlfriend. The gift of, I'm going to get you pregnant so you can be a mother again. Do not say that to people when they say, what do you give me for Mother's Day? I'm about to give you another baby. Tiffany said, I think Asia once made me an ashtray in school.
Ashtrays.
Okay, I made my mother this wicker basket in was it home ec or art? It was art. I made my mother this colorful wicker basket. It was like crooked. And it was just like this weird, looked like something out of like a Dr. Seuss book, you know, like this colorful, crooked wicker basket. And it disappeared quite quickly. You know, it was the thought that counted, but she didn't plan on keeping it. You know,
it is the thought that counts.
Pastor Tatum said a trip to Vegas. Now that's what I'm talking about. That's I mean, I'm not about to do that, but that's what I'm talking about. So Big Mike is not with us. So we're going to finish up with one more ad, and then we're going to open the floor. If anybody wants to ask us any questions, we're going to spend the next 10 minutes, if that. Get your questions ready. Be sure to ask. You can ask anything. It doesn't have to be about mothers. It
questions
can be about
or comments. If you got a comment on anything we spoke about.
Comment. If you're mad at us, if you're never coming back, you know, go ahead and tell us now so we can block you. All right. We want to give a shout out to our final sponsor, again, from the Phillips Care family of businesses, Phillips Care Training, who are the proud new owners. Are you guys still new owners at this point? They are the owners of High Street Fitness at 277 South High Street in Cortland. They're running a special. It was a special for the new year. Then it was a special for Valentine's Day. Then it was a special for spring. Summer's coming.
Mother's Day week.
It's a Mother's Day special.
Mother's Day special.
It's a Mother's Day special. And so contact them and just tell them you heard about a special on this show, and they'll make one up for you. You can look up High Street Fitness on Facebook or call Mike at 330-984-7632. Again, 330-984-7632. And that's Mike Phillips of Phillips Care Training. Thank you very much to the Phillips Care family of businesses for being our sponsors. We want you to give us some rapid fire questions. The first question on the board is from First Lady Stanford. What do men want for Father's Day, since y'all are always complaining about getting ties? You know, first of all, let me bring in Tony Brown on this question.
Call Tony Brown. Call Tony Brown. He will let you.
I knew you were going to ask that question. I would have had Tony on the log.
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay, so I wanted a grill. I needed a grill this year. But and the wife, to her credit, said, uh, I want to get you a grill this year because she knew I threw the old grill out. And I love grilling. And I've just really gotten obsessed with grilling. Everybody knows it. Jeff knows that. I'm about to have y'all over for some steaks soon anyway. That's what we're probably going to do anyway. But she wanted to get it for Father's Day. And I'm like, I want a grill now. So I went ahead and bought it, I think the beginning of April, maybe end of March. And I've already used it. And I'm glad I did. But here's what I'll say. Whether it's Father's Day or Christmas or whatever, I want a gift that reflects my taste and my style and my interests. And if it is, and I've talked to my wife about this, so I'm not, saying anything negative about my wife because Shamika, obviously takes good care of me and loves me. But I would say that some females don't always take as much time to figure out what their man is into if they're not familiar with it. Whereas we go to the jewelry stores, we usually ask their female friends what they've been looking at, what kind of person they like. We pay attention to their taste. I'm a tech guy, so obviously I probably like tech stuff, even maybe a good book or some resource for ministry, a robe, clergy stuff. It's what we do. It's just a part of our life. So I would say that. What would you say, Pastor Jeff?
Well, honestly, my wife just bought myself, and I posted on Facebook a picture of my mother for my birthday, and it was it was a painted picture, and it was absolutely beautiful. It was probably one of the best gifts ever of my life. But for Mother's Day, since you asked, Mrs. Stanford,
Father's Day, what do you want for Father's Day?
Excuse me, for Father's Day, since you asked, I posted a couple of days ago. I went to the car lot, and they approved me for a Cadillac.
Not the Cadillac.
I chose not to get it because of how high the payments were. But if you just
I thought you were just waiting on her to get it for Father's Day.
Right. If you're feeling generous,
Has a man ever gotten that car with the bow on it? Oh,
man.
She got you a big no. Big no. Okay. Mike, do you want to try to come in? Give me a thumbs up. Mike's back. You want to try to come in? Okay, we're going to bring Mike in. Go ahead and bring yourself in, Mike. We're doing rapid fire. So the first question was, what do men want for Father's Day, since we're always complaining about getting ties?
What you want, Mike? What you want?
Ooh.
First of all, it has to be said. Hey, let me say this, Mike. We all want something we can't say on this show. So go ahead, Mike.
Honestly, amen. Here you go, Doc. Yes, sir.
With this conversation and the conversation y'all had earlier about everything going on, there's too much going on. You got this day, that day. Honestly, the only day I really care about is my birthday. That's
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, Father's Day is cool. You want to give me a car, you want to get me something, all right. But my day, that's my birthday. The way I see it, for 364 days out of the year, I do for everybody else. Just give me that one day to do me and do what I want to do. Other than that, I'm cool, man. I'm cool. I always take that day off of work. Actually, I've been taking a whole week off lately, but I always take my birthday off. I take vacation. One of them
monthly birthday people. That's my birthday month.
And then, I mean, think about it. Then, nobody's offended because you miss Mother's Day or they're not a mother or they can't have kids or whatever the case may be. Just tell everybody happy birthday and everybody should be good.
So the only holidays we should have are birthdays.
That's it. That's
it.
Birthday.
Mike has spoken.
That's
okay. Jameson has a question. I actually want to put it up. Jameson has a question. Right. Pastor Todd, will you ever run for mayor? I don't know. It's been prophesied to me about 3 times. Believe it or not. I probably shouldn't put that out there like that.
Those are people who really want you to be mayor. They ain't really prophesying, but it's okay. We just gonna use the.
They know my love language. It's prophecy.
Right. Yeah. They're gonna use that, and they're gonna say, "I prophesy to you." I see mayor all over you, Pastor Todd.
You know what? Pastor gives me enough gray hair, and so do children. And I'll be honest. I do feel that there are things that I can do. That's why I'm running for council. And there might be some things I don't feel I can do, and you have to be honest about that. What you can't do. And even if it's just the headache and all that stuff, it's just a lot. I think Mike froze again. So bye, Mike.
I do, just to answer that for you, I think that somebody made a good point that, from the Youngstown debates, what was going on, and they specifically said the mayor of the city is a full-time job. It is not a part-time job.
That is true.
You know, you as a pastor, that just it may conflict, and you know, so.
Yeah. It's so different, you know, even from being like a congressperson and stuff. It's so different in that regard. Charlene Dela Cruz, Lady Dela Cruz has a question. Her question is, what is your favorite Mother's Day song? Do you know any?
Dear Mama.
Dear Mama and Sadie.
No.
Sadie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is that that's
early one Sunday morning. Wow. Breakfast was on the table.
Boys to Men had a really nice one too.
Song for Mama. Now I would tell you this. My good friend Billy Truss, I'll say his name. He used to sing at a lot of weddings and funerals. And that was one of the more awkward songs that he was asked to sing, and I would play for him at funerals because it's so personal. Yeah. And he's singing it on behalf of the family. And it's kind of an odd song the way it's written. It's just odd. Okay, that's the best way I can say it musically. Everyone doesn't know what that means, but it's a little odd the way it's phrased and the way it makes it, you know, it doesn't always translate well to a funeral setting. And this cat was singing the lead and the backgrounds at the same time and the bass. So I've never been a huge fan of the song, even though it's a beautiful song. But yeah, Sadie is my number one. I love Dear Mama too, but Sadie is mine because I'm an old school guy, and I just love that story. You know, it's not like Tupac, like you gave me money to make my first dope deal. You know, you bought my first packs. So, you got any favorites? It's Dear Mama.
I mean, you know, I love Dear Mama just because it resonates with my life. I'll be honest with you. You know, I resonate with my life before I, you know, became who I was. So, but I do like the Boys to Men Joan too. So
okay. Pastor Tatum has a question. What is your ultimate Father's Day meal?
Steak. Just the biggest steak you can find, and unlike Pastor Todd, I don't want mine with blood coming out of it. I don't want the Red Sea steak that Pastor Todd gets.
Listen, I want the cow bleeding and pleading for its life. I want the cow, you know, still mooing. No, I'm a big steak guy as well. You know, I'm right there with Pastor Jeff. We're known to share steaks that that we have to take out a mortgage to eat. We have to get a home equity loan.
We went out to dinner for my birthday the other day, and the Brinks truck had to come. We had to call the Brinks truck in.
Hey, as soon as I ordered my steak, my credit score went down. That's my favorite Father's Day meal.
Hey, wait a minute. Hey, you know, I love Pastor Todd. And Pastor Todd is good for grabbing a check and trying to pay for it.
Not that one, Doc.
Look at that.
Oh, I'm like, hold up. It's two different checks. I did not love these people that much.
Oh my God!
Oh, and we stopped that lady quick, didn't we? We were like, hold up.
Hey, nobody. I didn't want to pay for mine.
I was like, where is that old white dude that just likes to pay for cute couples meals? Where are they at? Where are those people at? Oh we need one of them angels to show up that be on Facebook and social media.
Yeah, I wish I'd have had my Navy suit on every time I went somewhere with my Navy suit on.
Oh man, I'm gonna go get me a costume. I'm gonna go get me a costume and start impersonating a soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, yeah, our favorite meals are both meals we can't afford and have no business buying, and set ourselves back. And now we can't go refinance our house now because of the steak we bought.
My electric will be cut off this week. I need to GoFundMe. Cash at me, y'all.
You still sucking on that meat in your teeth while your electric's off. Like, I'll warm myself with the memories of this steak. Yes, those potatoes were the bomb, Tiffany. They were the bomb. We went to a nice restaurant recently, and we instantly regretted it. So, any more rapid fire questions, Mike? You want to try one more time? We had some problems with Mike. Let's see if Mike wants to come back. Mike.
Yeah, I'm here, man. I don't know how long I'm gonna be here, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so we were talking about our favorite Father's Day meal, and our favorite Mother's Day song.
Okay. Father's Day meal. Oh man, give me a steak and a baked potato, man. Give me a steak and baked potato. I'm good. Medium, not rare. I don't want no blood, like Todd.
I want the sacrifice. I want to sing communion songs. I want to sing communion songs while I
eat. Hey, Todd is able. He gave him the fattest choice, the choice meat.
Yeah, I want the choice. I want the fatted calf. All right. And your favorite Mother's Day song?
Favorite Mother's Day song? Probably Tupac, man. Dear Mama. I mean, it hits everything. It hits everything. You know what I mean?
Us church kids have to pretend we know what y'all talking about. We just pretend. We get in the gutter for 1 minute.
No matter what situation you in, you know what I'm saying? That song hits the point. It's your situation.
Yeah.
So
yeah. My wife put up the most beautiful tribute this year. She didn't put a picture up. She put up an empty chair, and it said, "Ain't a woman alive that can take my mama's place."
Oh wow!
I love it.
Yeah,
that's the best way. That's the best way you could do it. You know.
No doubt.
So to everybody who has celebrated Mother's Day, for those who cannot celebrate in the same way, and for those who have lost their mothers and are just remembering them, we're thinking of all of you and wishing blessings upon you and thanking you for stopping by and hanging out with our crazy selves. And hopefully we brought some laughter and thought into your lives. Big Mike, you got any questions or comments for us? Anything that we talked about you want to throw your big Mike-ishness on?
My big Mike-ishness? Nah, man, I'm good. You guys did a great job, man. Great show tonight. Happy Mother's Day to everybody. Apologize for flashing in and out. I don't know. My internet's been acting up last couple of days.
Big Mike got one of them VTech computers that we used to get in the 3rd grade that only did math problems.
Man, you used to make man in the house. You got to go back outside.
Right. That's the problem. That's
Big Mike is on a
scientific
calculator from 11th grade. Big Mike is on a viewfinder, a Mickey Mouse viewfinder.
All right, here y'all go with the jokes. That's cool though. That's cool.
Big Mike, how's the battery on your Leapfrog?
All right. Keep clowning.
Okay, well, it's been real. Anything else you want to add, Jeff?
Man, just happy Mother's Day to everybody. I know it's almost over. And I know y'all ain't going to tune in for Father's Day. It's okay. We understand.
Yeah, nobody's going to be on for Father's Day. It's going to be crickets.
Right. It's going to be crickets.
Tumbleweed. We might not even show up. We might not even come. Hey, we're going to go live from an empty restaurant on Father's Day.
We can't have a lot more fun with who are our favorite fathers online. That ought to be good.
Well, hey, Jeff, we're going to go live in front of child support building for Father's Day.
Oh, man, y'all is on one tonight.
You're not here to regulate, Big Mike.
Y'all is on one tonight. Let me tell you.
Right. Mount up.
Well, thank y'all for joining us. We'll see you next week with another great edition of Religiously Incorrect. Be sure to like, follow, and share on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and of course, follow us on YouTube. Until next time, take us out, Big Mike.
Peace, y'all. Next week.
Peace out.